Ladies and gentlemen, fans of the No Contest Wrestling Podcast, welcome to a Championship Monday episode of NCW. I am the heel that you love to hate, O'Shea Jackson Jr., a.k.a. Petty Guerrero.
Hey, yo, it's me. It's the T-double-O, the J-I-double-G, 2J, TJ Jefferson. What up, though? How you feeling, man? How you living? How you live?
I have had possibly one of the best Saturdays of my life, man, because for those listeners, the people who are viewing can see that I have brought back, because I just had it last year, have brought back my Dodger Championship belt, courtesy of the WWE shop, because the Dodgers, if you are unaware, gave us what can only be described as cinema. And it, not only that, before we get into that, before that happened, okay, Saturday night's main event, I see our pal, my friend, first guest ever on NCW, CM Punk. He wins the World Heavyweight title. Before I can even react, before I can even soak in the moment, the Dodgers go down 3-0. It happened right after one another, and it was insane. So I couldn't even fully grasp what happened, TJ. But of course, later that night, by the grace of the Lord above, America's team, the Dodgers, are world champions. That's right, America's team. America's team. Going up against those, our brothers of the North, respect to the Blue Jays. And yes, this is a wrestling podcast, but I have to let everyone know, everyone out there who is a Dodger hater or a Dodger lover, know that the Dodgers are your back-to-back World Series champions. Praise him. Praise him. What time is it? It's time for Dodger baseball, baby. Yeah. Oh, you don't seem too excited.
I'm excited. I'm cool with it. You know, unlike when the Lakers win a championship here, where I dislike it because I don't like Laker fans, such as yourself.
What is it?
But here's the deal. When it comes to the Dodgers, we've said this on this podcast before because of my grandpa. You know, I grew up as a little kid learning. One of the ways I was learning how to read, Shay, would be me and him, summer afternoons on the porch. The newspaper would come and I'd sit there and I'd read him. He'd teach me how to read the box scores. You know what I mean? So I'd sit there and read, Garvey and Sachs and Say and, just all the great like Dodger players of the, the early to mid 80s. And so I've always had a love for the Dodgers. It's kind of wild that they're not my favorite team based upon the fact that me and my grandpa were so close, but my uncle was a Mets fan. So I think like I said, I saw Darryl Strawberry swing a baseball bat when I was a little kid. And I was like, I've never seen a swing like that. I'm like, I like him. So I started, as a Mets fan. But yeah, when the Dodgers win, and I guess maybe even with the Lakers too, even though I don't accept it because I'm angry when the Lakers win. When the Dodgers win, man, it just kind of does something for the community. It does something for the city, man. It kind of uplifts this whole city. People are just happy. People are friendlier. There's just a vibe that goes around. And when you look at the Dodgers, it's very much like the city of Los Angeles, man. It's built upon a lot of different people that come from different backgrounds, guys that, different colors, different ethnicities, different birthplaces. They've all converged here. It's like a United Colors of Benetton. It's a melting pot of a franchise, which kind of, you can say the same about Los Angeles, where you have all different types of people coming together to make this whole thing work. So, yeah, man, I was excited. I can't front. I said on the Rich Eisen show on Friday when the Dodgers were down a game that I said, this is going 7. There was no doubt. And I also said, like, something is going to happen in these 2 games that we're going to remember forever. And that proved to be the case, too. Just amazing. Yamamoto, Ohtani, Rojas, Teoscar, God, Kike, you look at guys like that along with the Will Smiths and,
Paez, baby.
Paez, like, it's just everyone, man, the Mookies and
Freddie Freeman.
Triple F, as I call him.
Ugh.
And I can't say the first word because as a Brave, he used to just do the Mets dirty. I used to call him Triple F, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I got to be honest. I don't mind the Dodgers. I dare say I'm somewhat of a fan of the Dodgers, and I got a lot of friends, obviously, who are Dodger fans. So yeah, man, it's kind of dope when we all kind of rally together, and that's what this city did, man, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I think about the years that I've had to hear people trash Clayton Kershaw, how many times you hear on the radio that Dave Roberts needed to lose his job, and for Clayton to be able to go out and ride off into the sunset the way that he did, when you announce it and you want to go be a dad, you recognize that, my kids are growing up. I've had my fun. I've had my fill. This is it for me.
He provided for them.
And then for you to have that moment in that 18-inning game 3.
When a lot of people doubted him, man.
Yeah.
When he came in that game, I saw Twitter. I saw my group chats.
Bases loaded? You get a mound with bases loaded?
I got to be honest with you, dog. There was no doubt in my mind. I was like, there is no way the baseball gods are not going to let Clayton Kershaw get through this inning. I felt it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way. You know? And
then another person going out, riding off into the sunset, Miguel Rojas, Miggy, for both of them to be able to have those huge moments and for the game to end the way that it did, and they got to do it in front of their families and both of them getting surrounded by their children and their wives. And it was, it's storybook ending. I always trash baseball because I've had so many years where I've hated it, and I think about those Kemp, like I told you over the phone, those Kemp, Andre Ethier teams.
Yeah, they were great teams.
Yeah, man, my man Agon. And I think about just how we would fall short in 2017 getting cheated the way that we did. And 2018, they told us, you might have gotten cheated, but it wasn't as much. And then like 2020, they tell us it didn't matter. So, like, I hated baseball for that, but now, let me tell you, I love baseball. It's so good.
Shea Jackson, big baseball guy.
Big baseball guy. You hear me? Yes, man. And shout out to Freddie freaking Freeman.
Yeah, that's not what I called him.
Yeah, it's all right, man.
But yeah, he did amazing. Back-to-back World Series for the Dodgers, man. Congratulations. LA, man. I literally, this tells you how wild it was. There was a point Sunday or Saturday night, because it wasn't too late. I literally thought, do I want to get in the car and drive? No. No, I don't want to be no part.
No way. Them donuts that they be doing.
No, cool. Not going to be able to do it.
And also, just a shout out to, because that game was so crazy. LA ain't felt a smack by Will Smith like that since the Oscars.
You had to do that.
Whoa, what did I do? Well, I didn't do nothing.
And speaking of Will Smith, the fact that there have been 6 consecutive world champions that have had a Will Smith on the team is insane.
Insane. Yeah, man.
But it's
a simulation.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Dodgers, man. Congratulations to Los Angeles. We needed it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next season.
Yeah, and just for everybody, we understand this is a wrestling podcast, and I know there's not everybody's a Dodger fan, so I'm sure they probably skipped this part already, but I'm gonna let you know right now, I will continue to remind you that the Dodgers are world champions throughout the show, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, until that first pitch of next season. So it's going to happen randomly. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I will remind you that the Dodgers are your back-to-back World Series champions.
And here's the
Let's talk about wrestling.
Here's the thing, folks. He is going to, too.
I'm the heel that you love to hate. That's the first things I tell you. Come on,
That's a good point. Now let's get into the reason why we're here. A little professional wrestling. Now, Saturday night's main event, you did mention that. Before that, though, we planned this, I think, 2.5 months ago when we saw the sketch. This was before you even left to go shoot your movie. I said October 27th is a Monday. They're in Anaheim. You know what that means.
Yeah.
I said, we got to do the show. Then we got to hop in the whip. We got to make our way down to Anaheim. And that's exactly what we did. Shout out to our boy Walter for getting us there quick, fast.
Yeah.
Shout out to Walter. Monday Night Raw, right? It's in Anaheim, in the pond. We were going to see a main event that consisted of the tag team champions, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, taking on Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. We also knew that we were going to see Jey Uso and CM Punk in some type of, face to face, because they were getting together for the World Heavyweight Championship at Saturday night's main event. So we got there, right when we got there, we got ushered to the back, and first person we see was Jey Uso.
Oh yeah, right. We did
Becky
see Jey.
was the other.
No. I was going to say Bayley, because we saw Bayley once we got past Jey.
We saw Jey Uso, and we dapped him up. He goes, "Yeah, I'm about to go out here," and I forget what he said. I'm about to go out here and get these people.
Yeah, get these fools or whatever. In typical Jey Uso fashion.
And he did. And then we made our way in the back, and as we're walking in the back, I had a goat sighting. I had a goat sighting. And I saw Asuka and Kyrie, and they were walking towards us, and I was like, "Shay." Yep. And they were busy, and they walked right by us. I'd never been that close to seeing Asuka. This is going to be later, but so then after the show was over, we went into the backstage area, and here come the Kabuki Warriors again. Yep. We were chopping it up with Dragon Lee.
Yeah, his family was taking pictures.
Yeah, so he was like asking them to take pictures with his family, and I was like, I have to do it, right? Yeah. And you were like, "Oh, absolutely, you do." So you were right like, here. You're his favorite. And then do you want to tell them what I did when I finally met
this
Asuka?
Dude, all right, this is his alpha, his omega, his everything, okay? And in the most TJ fashion, out of full respect for the culture, he got on his hands and knees and bowed at the feet of greatness that is Asuka. And, she was obviously overwhelmed. She was like, like, wow, okay. And I was like, yeah, no, he loved you. Like, for real. She was like, you're his favorite of all time. Yeah. And they bowed to each other, and I was like, can we get a picture? We got the flick, and you got to meet your goat.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. Being in Hollywood for as long as I have, I've had the opportunity to meet pretty much everyone I've ever wanted to meet, right? And so I don't really trip too much. There's very few people that will fully make me kind of mark out, like I've still never met Pacino. I still never met Denzel, everyone else. So I've pretty much seen. And so like, she was one of those, I didn't realize that I was going to have the moment where I was like, oh snap. It's Asuka and Kyrie, So like I said, we saw them going into the show, but we didn't get a chance to speak to him. So that picture that we popped up, that was after as we were leaving. And then, after the show, we also got a chance to meet another favorite.
Yeah, Raquel, man. She's so nice. But she mean on TV.
Yeah.
But she's super sweet.
So, yeah, we ran up. We got the chance to chop it up with Raquel Rodriguez. And, she's awesome. And, look, I did it. You didn't think I was going to do it. I did it.
Yeah.
I told her what my name for her tag team with Roxanne Perez was. And she was like, well, what is it? And you were like, oh, my God.
Here you go.
And I said, I call you the hard R's. And she stopped and she thought about it and she started laughing. She's like, I like that.
I like it. Because it's funny. Like, we know why it shouldn't be funny, but like, it's kind of funny. It's kind of hilarious. And like, especially the pronunciation of the R's. Like,
the hard R's.
Hard R's. So, yes, you got the approval.
So, yeah, shout out. And then you got the hard R's right there. And, man. Yes, that was
a flick.
That was right before Roxanne took on another friend of ours, Nikki Bella, in a fun and exciting match. And
we got to get that Bella twins guest spot.
Yeah, for sure.
But we got to talk about them. Your fantasy football that they managed.
Oh yeah, they know they were terrible at that. But so we got Punk and Jay to kick off the show. We got Roxanne taking on Nikki Bella, hit her with the pop rocks. She got the win. Then we got Punk and Jay setting the tone for the beginning of the show, where Punk kind of was like, four letters, two word. What was it? I forget what he said.
4 letters, 1 word.
Oh, so he didn't switch it. Okay.
Punk.
My bad. Because I thought maybe he flipped it around, because we were there and it was loud. So it
was rocking in Anaheim.
And apparently I almost caught
one of the only things they get to rock about.
Apparently I almost caught Jay's glasses. I wasn't looking.
Yeah, bro. So Jay throws his glasses. TJ, just a split second look away. The person directly next to him, way shorter individual. TJ had the reach by a mile. The man put his hands up. The glasses smack him in the hand and bounce in the lady behind him's lap. TJ, they were yours.
Yeah, I didn't. I literally, like you said, I was looking. I went to put my phone in my pocket, I think, And then I heard of, and then I could
saw
feel the crowd
there.
coming, so I just kind of put my head down. And then I got a text from a buddy of mine who was sitting behind us. He goes, "Those were your glasses."
Those were yours.
I didn't even see him coming.
If you would have saw them, it would have been Michael Irvin, CeeDee Lamb. You would have grabbed them, right? Yoinked them.
But yeah, so that all set up. So maybe I'll get another pair. I almost caught Cena's hat at the Philly WrestleMania. I had the bill on my hand. Could have got whatever though, man.
I mean,
I've got enough stuff.
Of all people in the crowd, we're around a lot.
Yeah, so it's all good.
Let the lady have her glasses.
Yeah, for sure. But so we did see a great that let's cut to the main event on that before we get to Saturday Night Main Event.
Yeah.
That tag team match, like I said, between Charlotte and Alexa and Bailey and Lyra. Yeah. Man, that was a great match. It always seems like Lyra's having some type of malfunction with the wardrobe. But at one point she got her hair yoked. She got her hair caught in Alexa's top. And remember, we were kind of like, what's going on? Because she rolled out the ring. Turned out it was stuck on her top. Luckily, Alexa had a top under her top, so she was able to slip that off and roll out the ring. But yeah, it was just a great match. The crowd was very much into it. They got the "This is awesome" chants. Unfortunately, Bailey took the pin, which kind of, I'm like, why is Bailey taking the pin? But yeah, she's a vet. Yeah, just worth noting that was a really very fun Raw main event. And now I guess let's move to Saturday night's main event. Yes, sir. Where our guest, Drew McIntyre, he came on with us last week. And we kind of thought, I think you and I thought that this was maybe Drew's time. We had some scenarios where it's like, all right, now Cody can't get counted out. He can't get DQ'd. Yeah. It seems like a perfect time for maybe Randall K to come in and maybe make a distraction or do it on purpose or, some type of shenanigans to happen that's going to let Drew win the belt without Cody technically taking a pin, which would save him, right? But nah, man, Drew McIntyre, I guess being the company guy he is, he did the job, even though I think a lot of people about Cody using heel tactics. See, you said that to me. I don't believe it was a heel tactic because Drew pulled the belt into the ring. Yeah. Cody hit him with the DDT, but it's not like Cody looked down, saw the belt was there, and purposely did it. If you watch, he never even looked. So he picks him up. Drew, the belt was there, obviously. He did hit him with it. Yeah. Through the DDT, but wasn't like Cody did it. The slow look at it, pick it up and throwing it out the ring. Like you and I both thought that was the moment the ref was going to see that. And I was like, oh, there's the DQ. Right. And then that didn't happen. Yeah. So, and then when you think about the ways that Cody has been kind of beating Drew, and it just feels very like a sprinkle of heel tactics. And then you think about the line Cody had during the press conference of, good guys used to finish last until I got here. So it's like, are they sprinkling these heel things while keeping him a face of just like, I know the goody two shoes baby face way doesn't necessarily get the job done all the time. So it's just something to monitor. I don't mind that though, because Cody's telling you like, I'll still be a good dude, but I'm going to do whatever I can to keep this title. And I don't think anyone can take umbrage with that. Still the underappreciated Drew McIntyre. Yeah, you always got a home here, brother. And I think the thing about Drew, I guess now, is he's in that position, right, where Drew McIntyre, even if you don't see him for a month on TV, you can instantly drop Drew McIntyre into a main event program credibly, right, with anybody, and know that he's got a chance to win a title. So I guess the good thing about that is Drew has positioned himself in such a way where he's always going to be a credible threat. And, people complain, but I kind of feel like that's not a bad spot to be in, knowing that you can always be counted on to come in and move the needle a little bit. Yeah. And his delivery and promos, the work that he does as a wrestling fan, we're all fantasy bookers, and we see somebody who deserves a recognition and, the title, whatever, what that brings. But then when you're so good that you can still do it without something around your waist, it does speak volumes. But when, we're fans, we got to complain about something. Right. And, it's not like we're hating on Cody. No, I love Cody Rhodes. Yeah, bro. Man. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So it's, it was just interesting. It was interesting to see, but we got 3 other matches. Yeah. And then and you put up after this match, like, Already? But to me, it made perfect sense. for Jade Cargill and this new Jade Cargill, this heel Jade Cargill, to run through Tiffany Stratton. She messed up her knee earlier, so point. Tiffany comes in already hobbled.
Yeah.
Now it's like you've got this badass challenger who's pissed off, who wants her spotlight. Yeah. She thinks it's her time. She flipped the script, and now she comes in and just runs through an already injured Tiffany Stratton. And I feel that's kind of how the match should have played out.
Yeah.
And it did. People always want to complain about Jade Cargill and, you know, is she going to put on a 5-star classic? Maybe not, but not everybody needs to put on. And the guy, think about this, Shay, think about the amount. I can give you a bunch of 5-star classic matches that half the people there probably won't even watch because they don't want to watch 45, 50-minute chain wrestling matches. But so with Jade, I think that was the right way to book her in this match. I was
extremely entertained with their first 2 matches. Their first 2 matches that they put on, I remember thinking like, wow, man, they kind of going right now. You know,
because it helped build Tiff up too.
Yeah, and so I guess remembering those first 2, I was like, all right, this is going to be the, you know, and WWE did a great job of recapping how many times Jade was this close in those other matches. And so when I have those other 2 in my mind, I guess I was thinking like, all right, this is going to be the one that culminates all of this. But you're right, with her already being hobbled, Jade with this new attitude, it makes sense. It's just, you know, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it to be all the way over. And Jade gets the title, you know, the title that's eluded her for so long. And now it's to see what you're going to do with it, because now they have built her to be the big bad, which is completely believable.
Yeah.
And then it makes me think down the road.
Yeah, I see.
When you got a big bad that it seems like nobody can stop, and, you know, you need a good guy that people ain't seen in a while. It might be some hair whipping down the line. No, and we've been dying for Bianca to come back, and this seems like the perfect setup for the match that we all knew was going to come eventually. And so here we go. Here we go. They're placing us on this ride, and it's about what Jade does in between, whether the decision to for you know, either side to be victorious.
Yeah, man. So congratulations to Jade.
Yeah, congratulations. Storm is here.
Storm is here.
Storm's not coming. Storm is here.
And then we got a match that, you know, I want to say it's no surprise because he's the young goat, but we got Dirty Dominic Mysterio retaining the Intercontinental Championship as he defeated Rusev and Penta. I got to be honest with you too. There was a few moments when I thought Rusev was going to take this match. And I can't front. Yeah. He's been looking great since he's been back. He's putting the fear of Rusev into Dom every time Dom sees him. And, you know, Penta is a star too.
How you feel about Blue Penta?
I don't think that Penta should be held back by a color scheme.
I know, but like, it's just some that don't.
It seems a little like, he seems a little more terrifying in black or red.
Yeah. Something about
Blue
that.
Penta seems like a little bit more like a little happy Penta. But I saw, you know, Lucha Underground Penta. And I'm going to be honest with you, that Penta El Zero Miedo, he scared me.
Yeah.
Because that was a dude who was snapping arms. He was beating up men and women.
Yeah, shout out to EO.
You know what I'm saying? And Kyrie too got it. You know what I mean? So that Penta was legitimately terrifying. And I'm hoping that at some point we get that Penta. We won't now because he's way too over.
Fans love him. Too over.
He's going to have that belt. He's going to have a belt at some point. Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be an Intercontinental because I came up with an idea this weekend that I think that Dominic Mysterio, listen to me now, should be the forever Intercontinental Champion. I don't think Dom should ever lose that belt. I think Dominic Mysterio should go on a 10-year run at full decade of dominance.
That would put him 30 years in the business.
Yeah, man. And he'd still only be 40. So what are we doing? You know, but I was thinking that the other day, like Dom should never, he's so entertaining.
Name it after him.
You know what I'm saying? So so Dom gets the big win in the triple threat. He brought the hammer back in. Right. Looked like he was trying to get away with some stuff. He didn't use it.
He ain't use it. That's a clean win.
That's Dirty Dom. And then we had the World Heavyweight Championship match between Charles Montgomery Punk and Jey. So
it was okay. It was an okay match.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Something felt a little off.
Yeah,
you know, you look back and you see the clip of the neck breaker that I guess Jey over rotated and it looked sloppy and Punk got up, kicked him in the head and did it right. There was also the move where he hit him with the go to sleep, bounced off the rope.
Yeah.
Now that I get because that, that was a little timing. That was a little awkwardness. So he went to, as Jey bounced off the rope, landed on Punk's shoulders. Punk couldn't quite get him over.
Right.
They fell, but if you, like true professionals, no one's bringing this up. Do you see the way they immediately went and Jey put him in a sleeper hold?
Yeah.
Like they went and they worked.
Yeah,
they worked for about 3 minutes.
Cody had a moment like that too.
Yeah,
with the ref getting in the way, and then so you have to tip your cap when you see them in full flow.
Yeah, when
still get something out of it.
Yeah, so they did that. Jey went for the sleeper. They kind of chain wrestled a little bit for about 2 minutes, and then they hit the spot again and went from there. And that just goes to show you, man. I think I hate when fans yell botch or something because to me, I'm surprised there aren't more botches in wrestling matches.
100%.
You know what I mean? You're out there, you're sweaty, you're tired, you're trying to have perfect timing with another human being. And like, it's amazing that it doesn't happen more often is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And, at the end of the day, it is you try to go and do a full workout in front of the millions. And live, and it all goes smoothly. Bro, I am exhausted. I got to carry this 200-pound dude on my shoulders real quick and like make it look seamless and all that. Either way, kudos to both performers. They got through it.
And at the end of the day, CM Punk.
CM Punk, man. And I told you, my heart wanted CM Punk. My mind said it, Jey. But CM Punk getting that title, what does this mean? Braun Breaker, I'm sure, is chomping at the bit. We got to see. I hit Punk immediately. Obviously, we were talking about the Dodgers, talking about him winning the world title. I said, bro, my friend won the world title and my baseball team won the world title. I'm having a pretty good Saturday. And then I was like, don't worry, I'm definitely going to make sure I give you a nod on the show. And he was like, what time y'all do that show? And I was like, we do it like, you're going to be doing Raw. And he was like, oh, all right. But so he's keeping an eye on us.
Who was this?
CM Punk.
Oh, that's right.
CM Punk, bro. So, but we got to have
We're talking about world champions, though, right?
Yeah.
Talked about the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Talked about Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
Talked about Charles Montgomery Punk.
Yeah.
Talked about Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah.
Talked about Alexa Bliss and Charlotte.
Yeah.
They're all champions.
Yeah.
So I think right now it only makes sense for us to bring another champion into the fold.
Oh, I love how you did that, TJ. That is my favorite segue you've ever done. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say, in this world of professional wrestling, we are forced to believe. We watch and we accept a world of smoke and mirrors. And within that world, every now and then, the real shines. And you can tell. You can tell when the real is shining. And there are few people that can take on the moniker of a baby face, but still show that real person in there. One of the realest to do it in today's wrestling, your TNA world champion, Mike Santana.
Yes,
welcome
sir.
to the pod, bro. What's good, man? How you feeling?
Yo, TJ, okay, what's good? What's good?
What's up, baby?
I'm feeling amazing, man. Thank you guys for having me.
As you should be, dog. Look at this. The world champion, Mike Santana, in the building with us. BK's finest, stand up.
It's dope.
Oh, you're from the Bronx. My bad. BX.
BX,
my
bro.
bad, Mike.
From the BX.
Yeah, I want to disrespect. I said K. I meant the accent.
Nah, thank God. Like, I'm in the BX right now. Thank God I didn't have this on speaker and have everybody listen.
Well, Mike, first and foremost, I got to say thank you. You know, back in April, we came to a TNA show. O'Shea was going to do some color commentary on your match. And then AJ Francis invited him to come out to the first class penthouse segment. And then things got a little... They took
disrespectful.
A little disrespectful there. Now, it looked like AJ and Casey Navarro were about to, get my man here caught up in the mix. Now, I would have helped him, but I had a drink in my hand, like Daryl from Coming to America, so I couldn't really, I'm in the crowd, I'm saying I couldn't really help my tag team partner, but lo and behold, I heard some music and I said, oh, you know what? My man's going to be all right because here comes Mike Santana to save the day for you. And I thank you because if had you not, I might be sitting here dolo,
Yes, sir. I was just helping a good brother out. I'm glad I was there and able to make it happen. But Yeah, man, it was a good time, and I think that was the first time we all got to meet, and it was awesome, man. Like what you guys are doing now, and just like putting a spotlight on a bunch of stuff, man. It's dope, man. So thank you guys.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
you know, we talk so highly of TNA. I've been to a lot of wrestling shows throughout my life, and I've never felt as welcomed and just involved and, you know, appreciated the way that TNA shows love. And just being able to see you guys in Gorilla and how you guys work amongst each other and just the camaraderie that you feel being at a TNA show. Talk to us a little bit about what TNA means to you and just that environment that we felt as outsiders being let in.
Yeah, I mean, going to what you just said, man, I feel like TNA, even going back to when I first joined in 2017, always had the reputation of having a tight knit locker room and a locker room that everyone helps elevate each other. You know, this, as we know, it could be a very cutthroat business, right? And it's you in there with sharks, and it's every man for himself. But honestly, with my experiences at TNA has been the total opposite. If anything, we're all just trying to work together collectively to elevate each other and elevate the brand. And I think that's what's been shining through all these years is that like we all have a common mindset, right? And I think that's important for a wrestling company. And by all means, everybody has their own ways of doing things, and everyone finds success in their own ways. But this is the thing that's helped TNA throughout the years. And I'm glad that so many people are starting to see it, experience it firsthand. And, you know, you saw it firsthand, like you said, when you were in Gorilla and you saw everybody just hyping each other up and making sure that we were all cheerleaders for each other. And I mean, as for me, TNA and what it means to me, like, again, TNA put me on the map when I first came in 2017. It was the place that put me on a bigger platform, introduced me to a bigger audience. Because before that, for maybe like 6 or 7 years, I was grinding it out on the independents. You know what I mean? Just paying my dues and getting my name out there as much as I could. And, finally something popped off and an opportunity opened up, and I'm thankful, man. And here I am because of that.
A friend of the show, one of our first few guests, you actually won that title off of Trick Williams. And even, there was a picture that got out, the little peek behind the curtain a little bit for everybody. But Trick was even there for when you got in the back and you had that title coming through the curtain. Speak to us a little bit about, we know the Trick Williams on camera, but the Trick off camera and, what he's been like through this journey of yours.
Man, I'll keep it a buck with you, man. Like you saw, he was front and center when I came through that curtain. And, just the camaraderie that we built and the trust that we built within each other. Because as you know, as you guys follow the business, like we're putting each other's lives in our hands.
Yeah.
Right. And there has to be a certain level of trust and respect when it comes to that. And that's something I take very serious. And so does he. And when we first started working together, that was one of the things that we connected on, that we both had a respect for the business, a respect for each other. And at the end of the day, we're doing what we can to help elevate each other. And I was selfless. He was selfless. And that's what helped us a lot, like allowed us to create the magic that we did and tell the story that we did. But yeah, man, he's a total pro. He's came up under some of the best guys in the business and been taught by some of the best guys in the business. So, yeah, man, like that dude has paid his dues and he's continuing to pay his dues. And it was a joy getting to work with him and getting to work with a lot of the other people at NXT. And yeah, man, it's just been a wild journey to say the least, just overall, man. Like I was I always try to take a second to reflect on things, right? And just thinking back on like 2.5 years ago, before I came back into wrestling after my injury, it was like, man, there was a moment where I didn't think this was going to happen, anything. And the fact that I'm, sitting here in front of you guys as a TNA world champ is pretty amazing. So hard work pays off for sure.
That's absolutely. All right. So I don't want to get you emotional here, champ, but I'm gonna ask you a question that might take you down that path. There was a letter to Santa that was written that seemed to have changed everything for you. Can you share with the people listening to No Contest what exactly I'm talking about and what that letter meant to you?
Oh, man. So back in, so I was struggling with addiction for, I'd say, 3-4 years. Like it got really bad when my dad passed away in 2020. That's when like a whirlwind just hit me. You know what I mean? All the things that I ran from and I didn't deal with growing up, everything just like, it was the soda bottle popping off. You know what I mean? And my dad passing away set me down a dark path. And along with other things that was going on, especially at work and my personal life and stuff like that. So yeah, it led me down some dark roads. And, like there was, the holidays were coming up. It was 2023 and it was December. And my daughter always wrote Santa her list every year since she could write. And specifically like those, I'd say 6 months, it was bad. Like it got to the point where, to be real, like I wasn't coming home for days. And that's when she started to notice, oh, Papi's not here in the morning to take me to school. Something's wrong. And yeah, man, like she wrote that letter and she gave it to, I think she was at her grandmother's house at the time. And her grandmother had told her mom and stuff like that. And that's when it was like, all right, this is enough, and everyone at that point had enough. And it was brought to my attention and that was my rock bottom. That was my rock bottom because, as me personally, as a child that grew up in a household where addiction was so prevalent and drugs and abuse and violence and all these things, I always vowed to never give that life to my daughter. And the fact that I was on the road to giving her that same life, it was just like, nah, I can't do this. And I'm thankful to this day, man, because if it wasn't for that letter and if it wasn't for, my family and their support, I wouldn't be here today. And that letter set me on the path of recovery. And I'm thankful, man, because I remind myself every day.
If I can ask, what exactly did the letter say?
The first line, it was, "Dear Santa, can you please make my papi stop?" And I can't tell you how low I felt. For some people, it's losing everything. Some people is losing their home. Some people is losing their car, losing money, losing this. For me, it was the realization that my daughter was knowing what was going on. And, her mom told me straight up after that, she was like, either you get yourself clean and you get yourself together or we're gone. And she had every right. And that was it. That was all I needed.
Absolutely.
And what is your daughter's name?
Her name is Ariana.
Ariana. So shout out to Ariana.
Shout out to Ariana.
And she got a good shot in on Trick too during the world title match. She actually slapped the face off of Trick's lips.
Yeah. Yo, it was funny because she in the back afterwards, she comes to me and she was like, "I put everything behind that slap." And I was like, "I believe you." Nah, but because of all that and what we went through, I felt it was important important for me to present the title to her and for her to share in that glory in that moment with me. Because again, if it wasn't for her, it wasn't for my family, I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing. I wouldn't be here today. And that was a thank you.
That was such a beautiful moment, man.
Yeah,
It really
dude,
was.
As a girl dad myself, my daughter Jordan is 8 years old, and I tell people, it's nothing like those little hands touching my face or hugging me. You know how many times I had to hold in boo-hoos because she'll say randomly, she'll see something and be like, "Daddy, I'm proud of you." Like, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Hold on one second. I gotta go to the bathroom. It's just those moments. Like even when I perform and I need some quick tears, I think about them little moments, you know. And when I saw that, I was like, dang, like that. You know, I'm choked up because I feel you 100%. Everything that you do, you do for her, and everything you don't do it for her.
Even more importantly.
And so, that moment right there, dude, that's what I was like, yo, this is like, it's just one of those moments that the world is stopped between those two. Like, there's no one in that arena in a moment like that. And so, it's great to see you finally climb that mountain, finally get to it. Anybody who's in the intro I gave for you, that real, people feel that real when they look at you, and then you find out the stories, and then you're like, yeah, man, that's it. And now that you are world champion, I want to pull back a little bit because there's a question that I usually start interviews off with, but we kind of got going. When did you get bit by that wrestling bug? When did you know, like, oh, this is what I want to do?
Damn. So I've been into wrestling all my life. I feel like in the first time that I discovered pro wrestling, it was my grandparents. So my dad and my uncle, they grew up watching wrestling. So I grew up on their VHS tapes that they recorded through the years. So the very first memory that I have of watching pro wrestling was WrestleMania 7. And it was, the first match was the Hart Foundation versus the Nasty Boys. And when I saw Brett and Anvil coming through down that aisle, bro, and just the pink and the black and the shades and the jackets and the flashing lights from the photography in the crowd, bro, that was it.
Yeah.
I was like, these are the two coolest dudes I've ever seen. Yeah, man. So like that was my very first vivid memory of watching wrestling. And then through the years, man, like I was obsessed. Like you could ask anybody in my family, all I did was watch wrestling and play with wrestling toys. I didn't want, like, I remember my grandmother telling me a story back in the day that she thought something was wrong. So she saw a therapist and asked, like my grandson, he's like obsessed with this thing and it's all he does. And she was afraid that I was going to turn out to be violent, which I wasn't violent because of wrestling. I was violent because of other things. But yeah, man. So like wrestling was always my thing. And then I did the backyard wrestling when I was a teenager and a kid, you know what I mean, with my friends and stuff like that. And in high school, I remember being in gym class. I was, I think, junior year. I was in gym class. And I saw this dude changing next to me, and he went in his bag and he pulled out like wrestling shoes and kick pads and all these things. And like my nosy ass, I was like, yo, you do MMA or something? And he was like, nah, I'm training to be a pro wrestler. And I was like, wait, where at? Like, where's this happening? And he told me that at the time I was living on Staten Island. And
Shaolin.
He yes sir. And he told me, yo, there's a school, it's on the other side of the island, it's in the middle of nowhere, but if you want, I could take you one day and introduce you to the trainer. And I was like, that's exactly what you're gonna do.
How old were you at this point?
I was 17.
Okay.
Yeah. So then I went, he took me, he introduced me to the trainer. And we were talking, and he was like, listen, before you train, before you pay for anything, I want you to go and bring me your diploma. And that alone meant a lot to me, because at that time in my life, he was one of the very first people to like show that he cared about like my education and cared about me, you know, being successful in other ways. So I was like, yes, sir. And after that, I went back to school. I did what I had to do, got my diploma. And the next day I was like, here you go, sir. And that was it.
Now that's always great to hear, because, you know, there's always people who have those moments on somebody's road to success that they might not even know they know what they're saying at the time means something, but you never know if it sticks with the person. You know, you never know if if that is something that they'll remember that's you did for them. Who, if you know, take the time to let us know, who are the people who without them, we don't get the Mike Santana that we see before us today?
Whew. Damn. There's a good few, man. First and foremost, I have to give a shout out to my father in heaven, man, because he was my biggest cheerleader, you know. And when I was growing up, we didn't have like, he was always present, but we didn't have the greatest relationship because he struggled with addiction himself. And also having a disability, he struggled with the thought of not being enough and not being able to be the father that he wanted to be. So he struggled with that a lot. And I didn't understand it because I'm a kid and I just think he's, you know, a jerk because whatever. But, you know, he was dealing with his own demons. And thankfully, we got to have a conversation when I got older and had my daughter. And I got to understand him more. And he got to explain a lot of things to me. And that was it, man. Like, honestly, he's the biggest influence that I have in my life, whether it's movies, music, television. Like, he put me on to everything, you know. And also the rest of my family, my grandparents, my daughter, her mom. Like, there's just so many people that I could, you know, list off that played such an integral role in getting me here. But yeah, like, you know, I've always said I have a very small circle. Yeah. I don't like put myself out there a lot. And I just, you know, come from a background that like I wasn't really able to trust a lot of people. Right. So I feel like I've carried that on into my adulthood. You know, there's very few people that I could say, yo, you know, this is my homie. But yeah, I'm very family oriented. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, my family is everything. So I'd say, like, without those people, also in wrestling, I'd have to give a shout out to Homicide. I'd have to give a shout out to Conan. Yeah. To the Amazing Red. A lot of like those old school New York, you know, crew that like saw this poor Puerto Rican kid from the projects and was like, yeah, we want to take him under our wing and put him on and help him out. And, you know, because we all came from similar backgrounds, you know. And yeah, those dudes really like were a part of putting the battery in my back and you know, like influencing me a lot. So,
Mike, you know, I got family in Jamaica, Queens, and I grew up in a little town in the smack dab in the middle of Pennsylvania. So when my cousins would come from Jamaica, you know, we're kind of, you know, looking back at it now, I didn't realize it then, but I can see why they thought we were country. A lot of grass, like I said, the middle of the state. And I would always knew, though, that my cousins coming in from Jamaica, Queens, they grew up a lot different than I did. Like, you know, they were hard rock kids, you know what I'm saying? Like cats that you didn't want to mess with. But I also got everything in terms of hip hop and fashion from my cousins when they come down. So just what was it like for you as a kid growing up in the Bronx? Because I've always said New York kids grow up different than kids anywhere else, man. It's a whole nother ball game growing up in New York. What was life like for you?
So for me, I'm originally from the Lower East Side, Manhattan.
Okay.
So I was born and raised on Avenue D, Jacob Reese Projects. That's like where all my family's from. A lot of my family is still there. So, I mean, growing up there, and then I moved around a lot. From there, I went to the Bronx. From the Bronx, I lived in Harlem. From Harlem, I went to Staten. So I did a lot of moving around as a kid. My mom, God bless her, she a teenage mom, I was born, she was 15 years old. So you have a child raising a child. And, I feel like she was always chasing that fresh start. And that's why we moved around a lot. But, growing up, just put it like this, growing up in New York City, like you said, it was a totally different ball game. And at the time, like, a lot of things for me were happening at home that just weren't good. A lot of abuse, a lot of drug abuse. And I did anything not to be home. So what happens to a kid that, is trying to find love and trying to find attention and all these things? They try to find it in the street. And that's the worst place that you can look, as you know. So, I got involved in a lot of things with a lot of people, a lot of things that I ain't proud of. But at the end of the day, it allowed me to learn. And, I'm thankful that I had this wrestling thing. I'm thankful that I had family members to help school me. But yeah, there were situations that I went through in the street that could have not had me here today. And that's just real talk. And again, like, when I think about it now, man, it's wild because my daughter's mom, we met when we were in high school, and she every now and then she'll remind me, like, it's amazing to see who you are today, knowing who you were back then. And she tells me all the time, she's like, yo, I didn't think you were going to make it. Because a lot of our friends that we grew up with, they not around. Yeah. And I could have easily been one of those people. And I was on that road, And she tells me all the time, like, especially when she was helping me find a rehab to go to, like, before then, she sat me down and she was like, yo, like, look at what you've done. Look at what you've accomplished. Look at what you've survived. And you're going to piss that all away because of drugs and alcohol? Like, what are you doing? And I'm thankful that she opened my eyes to a lot of things because she saw who I used to be. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yo, you survived that. Like, so you're going to give in because of this? Nah. And yeah, man, I'm gratitude is a big thing for me. And I'm just thankful to, again, have people in my life today that remind me of, like, yo, you, again, a poor Puerto Rican kid from the projects and got to see the world with wrestling. How crazy is that? Mm-hmm. Like, we didn't have a lot of people to look up to. We didn't have a lot of people to help guide us on the right paths, but you found your way. And the best thing about it was that, like, I built this myself from nothing. I didn't have a handout. I didn't have someone in the business that, like, helped steer. I didn't have nothing. This is something that I built on my own. This is something that, like, nothing was given to me. And that's why I take so much pride in it and I take it so serious.
You always hear people say wrestling saved my life. And I feel like in this case, it seems like, Mike, that is truly what happened and what wrestling did for you.
100%. There's no doubt in my mind that, like, wrestling saved my life for sure.
Now, we know the uplifting that you got in your personal life. And now we know how serious you take the growth that you've had. And now that you have being a guy from TNA, the ultimate accomplishment in TNA, but you are also the first Puerto Rican born. I mean, like, dude, what is that level?
Yeah, hold on. O'Shea, I'm sorry to cut you off, but you got to say that again. I've been making everybody say it again.
Like Jimmy two times. I get the papers.
First
Get the
ever
papers.
Puerto Rican TNA world champion.
Yes.
Yeah,
Now-
pa que lo sepa.
Now I know that's gotta feel. Number one, talk to us about how amazing that feels for you, and then speak about the level of responsibility you feel being the first and what that means for others watching you.
Man, like as far as like how much that means to me, man, like I've been very very open and very honest about like how I feel about my people, and just like from the beginning, again, I was looking back at some pictures, and my very first promo pic that I took, I was 18 years old. It was right before my very first match. And I remember taking this picture in my bedroom, and I was like, the dude needed a picture of me so he could use as a graphic. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna put my tights on and stand in front of this white wall and take this picture. But in that picture, I have a Puerto Rican flag on my shoulder.
Yeah.
And it was something that like I told myself, you know, coming into this, I want to represent my people and put on for my people. Because again, growing up, we didn't see a lot of Latinos in the game at a high level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for us, it was like, you know, my dad and my grandfather's generation was Pedro Morales.
Yep.
And then, yeah, we grew up with the Savio Vegas, but like he wasn't like a top name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're probably too young to remember
And then,
Carlos Colon too,
and then
right?
same thing. Exactly, right? So like it was Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
That was as close as we got, right? But there was never a Boricua. There was never a top guy who was Puerto Rican, and that at least I got to see in my lifetime. So that was something I always strived for. And also, a lot of the guys that I grew up watching from the independents, the Homicide, the Low Key, the Amazing Red, you know, the SATs, like these were all Boricuas from New York City that, again, similar backgrounds, similar upbringings, and they made something of themselves, and they got to see the world and travel the world. And I was like, yo, I want to be like that. That's what I want to do. But again, going back to now being the first ever TNA world champ to be Boricua, and what responsibility that means to me is like my whole thing with my representation and just like with all of that is showing that it's possible.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you've been through. It's possible. Again, like there was a lot of people that laughed at me. Some in my own family. There was a lot of people that doubted me. Some people who I considered brothers and friends. But at the end of the day, I used that as fuel to keep lighting that fire. You know what I mean? And just like to show other Boricuas that are coming up in the game that it's possible to dream as big as you can and to make it happen. There ain't a lot of us. So we got to make it happen. You feel me? And again, if I have to be the face of that and I have to be the catalyst of that, by all means. I always said, if I didn't get into wrestling, I want to do something that was going to help people in general. And I feel like wrestling is my way of doing that, and especially for people in my culture.
You so many. You always have naysayers. You always have people always talking about, you know, why does it matter so much? Why does it matter so much to be the first? Or
you have people who, yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it.
They don't. You know, they don't.
No, we gotta get into it. We gotta get into it
because they don't get. You don't get it because you've seen you do it.
You've seen people
times.
that look like you 1,000. You don't. But when it's people that look like you or me or Mike, we don't always see that. You know how long I've been watching wrestling, man. You know how long it took for me to see a world champion that looked like me.
Yeah,
it was Ron Simmons, and that was. You know, that was what, 1992. Wrestling's been around forever. And that's how long it took.
Yeah, and it's just something that there's no way to explain it or describe it to those who don't get it. But like, it's something that happens in you when you feel like you saw you do
exactly,
it.
Man.
And that's all somebody needs to like be the match that lights a fire up under them. And so, we are extremely proud of you for that, man. I know that's got to be a crazy feeling for you to have the flag and your daughter, just that moment. You got to have it framed somewhere. So,
right.
we're
that picture's got to be hanging up in the crib.
Are you kidding me? You know what happened this day?
It's great. It's crazy too, because like you say that, man, and one of the best like feelings and moments for me too, aside from having my daughter be a part of this, and like I love when I go back to the hood and I mean I live in the BX, right? But when I go back to visit like my grandparents and on Avenue D, and seeing people like that I grew up with or that have known me since I was a kid and know what I'm doing now, and they see me still walking the same streets that I came up on, still, in the same neighborhoods, and just like, especially kids, man, like they're like, yo, like you still here.
Mm-hmm.
And I love, for me, I love that accessibility that I'm able to offer. Right. Again, like a lot of us didn't grow up with seeing guys that we watched on TV or this, like walking the street. Like I go to the mall with my daughter. I walk through the streets with my daughter, and people stop and people, talk to me, and she's like, here we go again. But it's so, but it's, for me, it's so dope, man, because like I didn't get to have that. And the fact that I get to offer that to someone else is pretty amazing to me. And that's something I don't take for granted. That's something that I appreciate. And again, I want to continue doing the absolute most with my platform and with what I'm doing today. And like the key is to aspire to inspire, right? And if I could continue doing that, bro, like by all means. And especially the fact that I get to do it being me.
Yeah.
I feel like is the biggest part, right? Like I told myself when I came on this journey, like I took a risk. As we all know, I've spoken about it many times. I took a risk. I bet on myself, and I told myself that, like, yo, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm gonna do it being me. And like you're gonna hit roadblocks. There's gonna be people to tell you no. There's gonna be this. There's gonna be that. But staying true to yourself, as you guys know, bro, staying true to yourself is key. So I feel like I've maintained that, and I'm going to continue maintaining that for the rest of my days. I feel
That's
like.
what's up.
Another fun question we like to ask in the beginning of your wrestling journey.
Yeah.
What was your welcome to wrestling moment? Either a bump that you took that was like okay, all right, you got me on that one. This is what I'm doing now for the rest of my life. So what was that welcome to wrestling moment for you?
Man, I think it was a few years in. I was on this like kick. My boys and I, we came up in the same circles, and we were pretty much traveling a lot together. We came up on this kick where we were like, yo, we want to pay homage to the guys who came before us from NYC, like that Doghouse crew and that old school crew, but also take the reins from them and carve our own path. And I remember we were doing that. Like we started wrestling them a lot throughout the Northeast. We did a series of matches with the Hit Squad, which was Dan Moff and Steve Mack, old school tag team. We wrestled Homicide and Low-Key. We wrestled, the Amazing, all these guys. And finally, it all culminated in a big match where it was for Jersey All-Pro. And Jersey All-Pro back in the day was like it. That was like Ring of Honor before it was Ring of Honor. And that's where all the All-Stars went. And we got to finally wrestle there and wrestle against the guys who were the forefathers of NYC. And they whooped our ass so bad. When I tell you, like they made us earn it.
Yeah.
They made us earn it for real. But I tell you what, after that, that was the biggest battery in my back that I needed. Because after that, they were like, yup, y'all got it.
Okay. That's what it takes, right there.
Word. And I just got to give a shout out because you mentioned him, Pedro Morales. He was to the people. I know we got a lot of younger people. I think our show runs the gamut from older fans to younger fans. Yeah. But to the younger fans, you got to understand, Pedro Morales was the first ever WWE Triple Crown winner. He was the first man to ever win the WWF Championship, the Intercontinental Championship, and he and my guy Bob Backlund were the WWF Tag Team Champions, albeit for like a day. They beat the Wild Samoans, and then they had to give the belts up because Backlund was the world champion and Pedro was the IC champion. And they had a rule back then that you couldn't have two belts, unlike now. Yeah. So, just to give a shout out and a little history lesson about the greatness that is Pedro Morales. Held that belt for almost 3 years. So I just like to throw that out there.
That's why you're here, man.
Yeah, man. And during that time that he was champion, like, in the years of the 70s, I feel like was like a renaissance year for Puerto Ricanos in New York City, right? It was a huge deal to have a Puerto Rican world champion. But at the same time, like a little history lesson, that's when the salsa music genre started blowing up, with the Hector Lavoe, with the Willie Colon, with Celia Cruz, the whole Fania All-Stars. Like, it was such an integral era for Boricuas in the city. So, like, we were hitting on all cylinders during that time.
Yeah, we're on fire. I feel
that. Hell yeah.
Now, you've been a fan of wrestling for a long time. We love when we have guests that are fans because they remember moments and things like that. Can you tell us when, as a fan, when you can remember the first time or any time where wrestling broke your heart? An example that I use for me all the time is watching Hulk Hogan run The Rock over in an ambulance with a semi truck. I was heartbroken. I was like, he's dead. Like, it's over, So, do you remember a time as a fan when wrestling broke your heart?
There was 2 moments.
Okay.
And they both have to do with the same people.
Okay.
And I feel like that is the like epitome of the era that I grew up in, like really watching heavy. So the first moment was WrestleMania 12, Brett versus Shawn. I was always a Brett guy growing up because, again, going back, like, he was the guy that really inspired me to be a wrestler because he was like, Bret Hart was Bret Hart, right? And he spoke about his family, his values, where he came from. He represented heavy. And so, I was always like drawn to Bret. And then Shawn was just the nastiest. You know what I mean? So, like, I remember that match happening, and I remember staying up and just I did not move from that television. And when the time went out in the Iron Man match, I was like, all right. Yeah, Brett gets to keep the title. I was hyped.
Good match.
I was like, we good. And then Gorilla Jack Tunney comes out, and he's like, "Yo, I think we gotta go to sudden death."
You're like, "What the hell?"
And I was like, "What are we doing here?" Like, and when Shawn gave him the sweet chin music, bro, and first of all, that was the deepest cover I've ever seen in my life, bro. Like,
Brett's knees were up around his head.
His knees, bro. Like, he had that, bro, it was so tight, bro. He made sure he wasn't kicking out.
He's like, you ain't getting out of this.
So I remember, hell no. So I remember that breaking my heart. And then another one was Survivor Series 97, bro.
Yeah. That'll do
it. I'll never forget I watched it live and the bell rang and I was like, wait, he didn't tap out. Like, what's going on here? Like, I knew something was wrong. Like, but then when I saw Brett get up and spit in Vince's face, bro, like, it was like I started crying because I knew something was terribly wrong. Like, something is not right. So Yeah, man. So those are the two moments that broke my heart.
That'll do it.
Yeah, for those who aren't aware, we're talking about the Montreal screw job in 1997, which man, that
Yeah.
and to this day, you know, there are still people that say that the screw job was a work or wasn't a shoot. I don't know if we're ever truly going to find out, but watching the footage of Vince wobbling down the hallway after Brett apparently socked him in the eye socket, it looked pretty real to me. You know, it's still real to me, damn it.
Oh, man. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that makes
solid ones.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's
amazing.
Let's jump ahead in your career a little bit, if we could. You debuted in 2007, started a tag team, and then you guys in 2017, under the name of Santana and Ortiz, you made your way to Impact Wrestling. Let's talk about Impact back in those days and what was it like? Were you hooked up with Conan? You formed LAX, the Latin American Exchange, and you guys were on fire back then. And on fire so much that I believe you held the record, right? 600 plus days as tag team champions. Ooh. What was it like back then in Impact?
Well, it was an interesting time, man, because there was so many transitions going on. You know, it went from Jeff Jarrett was the boss, and then from Jeff, it went to Scott D'Amore, then it went to Anta. There was just a lot of transitions going on. But thankfully, we had someone like Conan that, I mean, what better learning tree we could have asked to sit under at that time, especially than Conan's, right? It was an awesome time because, again, we were learning something new and we were placed in this high-level position, not having television experience, not having experience on a bigger stage. And it was almost like that sink or swim feeling. And I'm thankful because if there's anything, it taught me that, like, yo, when the pressure's on is when I'm going to do the best and do the most. So, it was an interesting time, but it was a great time, man, because there was so much learning happening and we got to work and learn from so many other guys that were there at the time. And man, that LAX run was truly, truly special, man. Like, we got to travel the world. That was the first time that, we went to England, we went to Germany, got to do cool, matches and have cool moments with like the Lucha Bros and stuff like that. But man, it was an awesome time. And again, like for me, what I take away from that time the most is just the knowledge that I gained, and learning about the business is one of my favorite things. So being able to learn from guys like Conan, guys like Scott, guys like Homicide, and everyone that was there at the time, it was a huge deal, man. And us, like, also, I don't think a lot of people remember, we came in right after the Hardys had left after doing their Broken Hardy run there. And they were like the hottest thing. They brought so many more eyes back to TNA and Impact at that time. Right. So they had left and showed up at WrestleMania that year.
Oh, yeah.
So we were coming in to fill that spot.
Oof.
So having the pressure of having to take over that spot was immense, bro. So, there was a lot of times where me personally, I was like, oh man, this is rough. But again, sink or swim and chose to swim, man. And I'm thankful.
We spoke about Penta earlier in the show and you guys, you and Ortiz and the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix, you guys had some classic matches. Let's tell people who weren't necessarily watching at that time or don't know, man. Let's talk about some of those battles between LAX and the Lucha Brothers.
Bro, we took that match all around the world, literally. We wrestled each other, I think it was 24, 25 times in 1 year. Wow. So after we did the first initial, I think our first ever match against them was in Rhode Island at a place called Beyond Wrestling. And then that match popped off and everybody started talking about it. And then the next time, I think it was at in LA, we did it in LA, and that match was even better and it popped off. And then once Conan, got TNA to bring them in, it was a wrap. And I knew right away that we were going to be married to them for a while. And like you said, man, our chemistry with them was like anything I've ever experienced, Mo. Like it got to the point, I'll tell you a quick story. There was one time we went to England together and we were a part of this tournament. It was, what was it? It was like the Dream Tag Team Tournament or something like that in England. And I remember we weren't scheduled to wrestle each other at all, which was surprising. Because at that point we had wrestled each other a bunch all over the indies and on TNA and stuff. So one of the teams that the Lucha Bros were supposed to wrestle, one of the guys got injured the day before in the tournament, so he wasn't able to have the match the next day. So the promoter comes to us and was like, yo, you think you guys could open the show? Mind you, this is maybe 15 minutes before show starts. Yo, you think you guys could open the show with the Lucha Bros? And we just look at each other. We look at each other. We look at the Lucha Bros, and we don't even say anything. We're like, "Yo, I bet." And I could honestly say, us and the Lucha Bros didn't speak about anything other than the finish, and we went out there and had one of the best matches still that I've probably ever had. And I remember a vivid moment of me and Phoenix standing in the middle of the ring before the bell even rang, and the crowd was going ridiculous. We didn't even touch each other.
Yeah, here we go.
And the crowd was bugging. And I remember at one point, me and Phoenix look at each other and we go, yo, we don't even have to do anything. We start walking out the ring. But yeah, and then at one point we do a crazy spot and all four of us are laying on the ground, bro. And the crowd was going so crazy that the ring was trembling.
Oh yeah.
And it was like, that moment still lives with me. So yeah, getting to work with them was awesome. And just to see what they're doing now, like those dudes, I got to go, like they took me to their mother's house and where they grew up in their hood in Mexico. Those dudes deserve everything that's coming to them, everything that they've done. They, like myself, we came from the bottom. Like those dudes deserve everything, man. So I'm proud of them. I'm happy with them. And like, we still keep in touch. We still chat here and there. And yeah, man, it's always good times.
I don't think that story's done.
Yeah,
either. Your path's going to cross again,
especially with the partner. And you know, something I do want to.
Real quick, can I ask him something?
Go ahead.
Because I like to talk to wrestlers, entertainers about this. Your medium is more on film, right? So you don't get the immediate reaction of the crowd after they see Den of Thieves. But someone like you, Mike, who's in the ring and you hear that, like someone like me, I work on a sports talk show, right? So I'm never going to know what that feels like. But share with us, man, when that many people, whether it's 500 people or 50,000 people, and they're on their feet and they're showing you love and applauding you and cheering for you and rooting you on, can you even describe what that feeling is like?
There's no better drug in the world. There's nothing that could truly take the place of that. And I've been blessed in my career to wrestle in front of 80,000 people. And bro, there's that rush that you get, that adrenaline rush, that it like you said, it's hard to even explain, like unless you live it, And I'm thankful that I have a job where I get to live that every week. But yeah, man, like it's something that I can't even describe. It's like that. It's such a euphoric feeling, the fact that like the crowd, there's nothing like having the crowd in the palm of your hand. Mind you, like we get to do it with movement. We get to do it verbally. We get to do it like in so many different ways. But my favorite, again, is telling stories and getting the crowd invested into what you're doing and taking them on a roller coaster ride, bro. Like that, to me, that's it. Like, and I feel like I've been doing that with the story I've been telling at TNA, and and just get it started, yo. But again, it's a hard feeling to describe.
Now we were talking about Penta and how it's definitely, you guys are definitely going to cross paths, especially with the partnership that WWE and TNA have been having. But I got two questions about this partnership. Number one, was there ever like a conversation? Because the NXT people came in and they was kind of taking belts from TNA left and right.
Yeah, we were kind of like,
was there ever like a, hey man,
what's cracking here, man?
Like your cousin come in that you just met and you just taking all the toys out the house?
Right.
Wait a minute, hold on, bro.
Oh.
So what was that like? Obviously we know that there's plans down the road and things like that. But is there ever like at least somebody joking backstage of like, hey, it's kind of empty back here?
What's cracking?
First of all, they definitely weren't jokes. Everybody was straight. Everybody was straightforward and pissed off. I'll tell you that. Especially the guys like the original core guys, like guys like me, guys like
Kazarian, I'm sure,
Eddie
Eric
Edwards and Moose and Kazarian, and all these guys. Like we were like, yo, we gotta change this, B. Like this is not, you know what I mean? And then
this is a little one-sided, yo.
Like, and of course you don't like to listen to what other people are saying or whatever, but
especially not on the internet, Mike Santana.
That kind of gets to you. That kind of gets to you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, I feel like the best thing that came out of it was that it motivated everybody, and it got everybody like, bro, the fire that was lit backstage was like, yo, we ain't popping off like this. This is not happening, and we all banded together and we were like, yo, we got to do something about it. And that's when everything started to kick off and we started making more moves on their end. And I remember when I first went to NXT, I made it very known in Trick's face. I was like, yo, we ain't living like this, man. Like it's not happening, bro. And I'm glad that I was the one to do it, man. Because man. But again, it just motivated the hell out of everybody. So I think it did some good.
And then the second thing, we've seen this farewell tour of John Cena, and on this farewell tour, we kind of got word that AJ Styles will be on a farewell tour himself next year. It'll be his last year. Now, how bad do you need that? I know. Come on. I know. I need to know.
Bro, I've been very blessed in my career to have worked with so many different people, especially people that I grew up watching, guys that I played with their action figures, guys that I've idolized. You know what I mean? Like I've been very, very blessed. But there's only one dream match that I'm chasing. There's one left for me. And that is AJ Styles. AJ Styles for me is truly like, there's no one like him. And I think when he's gone, there ain't going to be no one like him, And the fact that like he hasn't been in TNA, since 2016, 2015? The fact that he's still recognized, still to this day, after every amazing thing that he's done since leaving, the fact that he's still synonymous with TNA and still considered the face and the original homegrown talent of TNA just speaks volumes, bro. And again, the fact that I'm also like in this position as the face of the company and another homegrown talent of TNA, like I think the story is there. The story writes itself. And to be able to get in there with him and learn from him and just say that I went toe to toe with one of the absolute best in professional wrestling ever is it. And if I could do it for the TNA world title in a TNA ring, that's it right there.
I'm going to tell you right now, Mike, as a co-host and my co-host sitting next to me right here on the No Contest Wrestling Podcast, we will pump Mike Santana versus AJ Styles propaganda as many weeks as it takes, bro.
Injected straight in the veins. You know
Hey, bro, blessed to ESPN for giving us a platform. We will push this propaganda until this match happens, bro.
Here at ESPN.
Here at ESPN, baby.
So, yeah, I had a different question, Mike, but I'm going to pivot because you just said something, and it's a question Shay tends to ask, but we haven't. You just mentioned that you're the face of the company, right? So a question that we also do like to ask all the time, we didn't get to you yet, but like that night we talked about your daughter, Ariana, you winning the title, presenting it to her. But that night, dog, you go back to the hotel, you go back to the crib, wherever you were, and you lay your head down at night and you've got that 20 pounds of gold that's sitting on your shoulder. Shay, go ahead, finish the question because I know it's yours, man.
What is it like when you lay your head on the pillow as champion of the world?
For the first time.
First time.
It's crazy. It's been, 2-3 weeks since Bound for Glory? And I could still hear the crowd in my ear when I lay down. And again, it's a moment that's going to be with me probably for the rest of my life. It's my very first world title win. But the feeling is, I'll put it this way. The feeling is I'm just getting started and the work continues. The real work continues. Because now, like I've said it, I've carried my city, my culture, my family on my back. But this time I have a company, I have a locker room, I have a brand on my back. And if there's anything I know about myself is that I thrive in the trenches. I thrive under pressure. And that pressure is just used as gasoline to continue lighting this fire. Because like I said before, if there's one thing that I know about myself is that I'm going to put in the absolute most and do the absolute best. And I said it after my match. Whoever is coming at me better come with the same fire and passion that I bring. Because I do not care what 3 letters you represent. I don't care who you are, where you come from. If you don't come with that same fire and that same passion, I'm going to eat you alive. And that's just me being, like you said, that's just me being as real as possible. But going back, what I feel is, let's get this pressure. Let's get it. Like I'm excited. I'm ready to go. And especially being the face of the company, going into this new era of the company and this new path where the company is going is a huge deal. And obviously the company has a certain level of trust to have me in this position. And I embrace it.
And I get that. I like to, I guess you and I both like to throw our own personal stories in, but something you said kind of took me back 22 years ago when you were like, now it starts, right? Because I can remember, you remember the show Punk'd that used to be on MTV?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at that time I'm roommates with Ashton Kutcher. And so at that night, it was a Monday. It was March 2003. The very first episode of Punk came on. It was the Frankie Muniz where they repossessed his car. Yeah. It was Justin Timberlake thinking that his house was going to get repossessed. Punk came out. I was at a club called Joseph's that Monday night. And when I tell you, the entire club was talking about Punk, and everyone was like congratulating me, even though I hadn't even started working on the show yet. And I got home that night and I told Kutcher, and I was like, yo, man, everybody in the club, because, you know, he didn't go out. He was a workaholic. And I was like, everybody in the club tonight, B, was talking about Punk. I'm like, it's a hit. And I expected him to be real hyped. And I never forget, he looked at me. He was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, now the work starts, because he knew that, like, getting there was one thing, but now you got to work hard. You got to keep it. And that was a mentality that I don't know that I ever had until he said that to me at that moment. So it just, what you said took me back, and just, I wanted to put that out there. I get what you're saying, man. It's one thing to get there, but now you got to keep it. You got to keep it. You know, and everybody's going to be coming for you in that belt.
Now, speaking of everybody, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that's you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, yeah, man, like, again, the work starts, and I'm just like, I remember when I got back to the hotel, I was the last person. It was me, Bubba Ray, and one of my camera dude friends, his name is David. We were the last 3 people to leave the Sangha Center. And I was still full of blood. I was still in my gear. And I remember getting to the hotel, and almost the entire roster was in the lobby celebrating and, you know, having food and drinks, and everybody was chilling. I walk in, everybody congratulating, blah, 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 blah. And I said, what's up? I walked past everybody, and I went straight to my room. And I remember sitting on the bed. I put the title down, and I sat on my bed, and I was like, that's exactly what I said to myself. I was like, the work starts. Let's go.
Absolutely, dude. Now, speaking of everybody coming at you, we have our number one question on the No Contest Wrestling podcast. And, you know, you've given us your time for a little bit over an hour now, so I feel like it's a great time for us to bring up the question. Now, it's a scenario-based question. You in a bar, you're at a restaurant, whatever location it is, there are 50 dudes in this location that got problems with Mike Santana. They don't want you in there. I need you to pick a team of you and 4 other wrestlers to make sure that the champ is getting to the car and back to the room safe.
Back to the BX. And these could be wrestlers from any era, anytime, Mike.
First off, I'm going to let y'all know real quick. I'm spitting 2 blades out my mouth, and we're going to work.
So buck 50s. Everybody's getting a buck 50. Yard and a half.
Yeah, everybody. B.
Mike, that is the first time the first time anyone's ever said they're going to give somebody a buck 50.
Yo, listen, podcast. I'm spinning those two blades down. We're going to work. But man, so I'll keep it simple. I won't go too far ahead. I'll keep it simple. I'll say my boy Josh Alexander is one of them.
Okay. The walking weapon. You know what I'm saying? You don't get a name like that for no reason.
I mean, that's for real. My boy Steve Macklin is another one.
Oh yeah,
our guy. You know, that's a former Marine there, so I feel good about that.
Yeah, he's biting faces for sure. I would say Moose.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, that's a big dude. That's a big dude.
That's one more.
Damn. And I'll say Eddie Edwards.
Okay.
Solid.
Yeah, those four, honestly. And I mentioned those 4 because I will say that we've kind of been in situations where shit almost popped off.
Oh, let's talk about it.
And we all would just give a look, and we're like, all right, man, let's get it.
Are there one of these stories you can legally share with us?
I mean, and mind you, they happen in separate occasions. Like I'd say I had a moment with, you know, Moose, Eddie Edwards, like in England one point. there's, Josh and Steve, I feel like we just all have a common mindset of like, we just give each other a look and it's like, it's go time. And, but yeah, like I wouldn't say specific, whatever. It's just moments that we're like, yeah, if it gets rowdy,
yeah,
and we get,
we
get rowdy.
Yeah, time to get busy with it. And
so
after what I saw with her taking some thumbtacks, you picked Eddie Edwards. I might say you might want Alicia too, because a few weeks ago,
first of all, I've known Alicia over 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I know where she comes from, and she about it for real. I'll put it that way.
I get the feeling about Alicia that she's about that.
Yeah. She about it for real, and she don't care you man or woman. She getting busy.
Well, let me ask you this, Mike. We have, and don't tell everybody about this because I don't give the keys to everybody. I'm gonna let you know. We got our own time machine here at No Contest Wrestling. Doc Brown from Back to the Future hooked up the LeBaron and the DeLorean. Why did I say LeBaron?
LeBaron?
It's a DeLorean. I don't know why I said. I think LeBron was on my mind for some reason.
Right,
the DeLorean. Yeah, Chrysler LeBaron, though, that was the move back in the day. We got a DeLorean, right? It's a little time machine. No big deal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you the keys, right? And I'm gonna give you a chance to go back in time to have 5 main event caliber matches with any wrestler from any time period in your LeBaron / DeLorean. Who are you going to travel back to, either go back to their time or bring them forward to this time? You get 5 matches, main event caliber.
Woo. Terry Funk.
Oh, forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Bruiser Brody.
Oh, man.
Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
you want to go to bed sore that night.
I mean, we're going to work.
Yeah,
Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
of course.
So that's 3, right?
That's 3, yep.
Bret Hart, of course.
I figured.
I was waiting for that one.
And, man, I got one more. I'd say Pedro Morales.
Okay, I was kind of thinking that.
Right. Because
Yeah,
AJ got to be in a
just
TNA ring.
mainly just to feel that atmosphere during his time of him being on top as a Boricua in New York City at the Garden.
He sold the Garden out many times.
Yeah. So just to live that and experience that for sure.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to say AJ because we gonna get that.
Yeah, we getting that.
That's coming.
That's next year.
You know what I mean? We gonna see that match.
Absolutely.
No, I don't need a time machine for that one.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Exactly.
So Terry Funk, Bruiser Brody, Pedro Morales, Eddie Guerrero, and the Hitman Bret Hart.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's pretty
Buying
solid.
tickets to all 5 of those. I'm hoping maybe we might get a comp ticket from our boy the Champ, but
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
You know, we do.
Either way, man. Mike, dude, this has been a great interview, man. I hope you had fun with us. I hope we treated you right, man.
There's so much more we could discuss too, man. But
absolutely,
next time we get you, we'll go down.
Yeah, man. And I don't be rocking people's shirts when I interview them. But come on, man. I got you right here.
See
Rocking
move your mic out. Push your mic out.
Playing.
Push that out.
Yeah.
Hey.
I got you, dog.
I'd like
Appreciate
that.
it. He saved me, man. That's the homie.
That's right. Because like I said, Mike, I had a drink in my hand and I couldn't quite get over the barricade that comes. So thankfully, you saved.
You full of shit.
Anyway, you saved my brother.
Mike,
you know what I mean?
Mike Santana, y'all make some noise.
The Champ is here.
There you have it, Mike Santana.
World champion.
That's
how we do here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not always, but
yeah. But that was nice, dude.
That was dope, man. I feel like Mike's the type of cat that I want to sit around and chop it up with for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Does he feel the real?
Feel the real, and like I said, just New York cats are different, man.
Yeah.
They really are. So
Said he'll spit 2 razor blades.
Yeah, but somebody getting $150 or, you know, I guess that's a 300.
My God.
You know.
That's good math, TJ.
Thank you. And I ain't good at math. For those that don't know what a $150 is, well, we're on the Disney platform now, so I'm not going to tell you, but you Google it. You don't want no parts of it, is all I'm saying. All right?
How about that?
If you ever seen Above the Rim with Tupac, keeps a blade in his mouth, and that's for protection.
Yeah, so that's fun.
You don't want no parts of that, folks. You really don't.
Yeah, TJ, that was a good episode, man.
Yeah, that was fun, bro. That was fun.
We got to head out of here and catch us some Monday Night
Got
Raw.
Raw
But I just want to remind everybody that the Dodgers are your back-to-back World Series champion. And our pal, CM Punk, is your World Heavyweight champion.
Come on now.
And you want to know something else?
What's that, B?
He is still your AEW World Champion. That's right.
That's history.
Still.
That's history. You know, and speaking of which, you know, we could talk about, you know, the picture going around, and you know how our people are on the internet. Now you have half the people.
Well, blacks?
Well, no, just wrestling fans.
Okay.
Yeah, wrestling fans. You know, that picture that Punk put out of him, Jade.
Just so happened we all were in the same room.
And Cody. Yeah, and, you know, but here's the deal. You can play that on both sides of the fence, right? You can go over AEW and say, well, look, there was a point where their champions were all, you know, you guys who are so caught up in this
it's okay, guys.
It's fine, bro. It's okay to like all different types of wrestling. It's okay to like both companies. It's okay to like New Japan. It's okay to like Ring of Honor. It's okay to like CMLL and Triple as by the way, even Page said that he and Chelsea Green are now the Triple mixed tag champions, and I had never heard anybody call it Triple like that before. So yeah, man, like, bro, man, my niece is calling me right now. I know that means she wants some money, so I'm gonna decline this call.
Black people,
but yeah, man, it's wrestling. It is what it is, man. You either get caught up in that stuff or you just enjoy what you're watching, I guess.
Hey, listen, of all people to take a jab, kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Anyway, guys, you know where we at right now, but TJ, can you tell them where to find us?
Oh, I sure can. Listen, if you want to follow us on social media, here's where you can do it. And make sure when you get to all these places, you subscribe or you follow or you like. You know, you do all that. But on Twitter/X, we're at There's No Contest. On Instagram, No Contest Wrestling Podcast. On TikTok, No Contest Wrestling Pod. And, of course, you go to YouTube, you type in The Rich Eisen Show. You can find all of our videos from CM Punk Episode 1 to this episode with the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Mike Santana and everything in between.
That's right, man. For my co-host TJ, I am O'Shea Jackson Jr. Make sure y'all have a good day, but not too good, because who the hell do you think you are?
Both rocking fours today, I see.
Oh, yeah, bro. What'd you say? May
the fours be with you?
Yeah, you see what time it is. Hey, man. Love you, bro.
My man. See you guys next week. I'm sure it's going to be a great episode. We don't have a guest yet, but we will.
Yeah. And once again, congratulations to the Dodgers. Your back-to-back World Series champions. Have a good day, y'all. Konnichiwa, bitches.
Bye, Miss Parker.
Bye, Miss Parker.